Hi, we're Ben and Katie from Two Wandering Souls.
And right now we are driving across Ireland back to Dublin, where we will be flying out tomorrow morning. So we're actually at the very tail end of our 2-week road trip, and it has been incredible. Amazing. Incredible. So, and if you haven't already watched our first video in this series, do that because that's where our whole trip begins.
We spent 1 week traveling in a camper van / motorhome through the south and west of Ireland.
It was pretty incredible. If you're new around here, we are obsessed with camper van travel. We have built 3 of our own camper vans and we've rented them around the world in New Zealand, Iceland, Scotland, and now Ireland. So it's something that we're super passionate about. In Ireland, we wanted kind of a hybrid of driving in a car and staying in Airbnbs as well as the motorhome travel. So that's kind of what we did on this trip. And what we're gonna do in this video is start where we left off in the first one.
We're so far from home, free but ready to flee from this all. Hard to be standing on your own, hard to be standing on your
own. We're about to drop off this camper and we're both feeling a little bummed. We will be picking up a rental car to finish this road trip, but yeah, this has worked out really, really well for us and it will be hard to say goodbye. All right, you'll notice that we are in a much smaller vehicle.
It feels like a race car.
Yeah, we're so low to the ground right now. It's kind of freaky and we're like so close together. But yeah, so we dropped off our camper and we traded it in for a rental car, and now we are continuing our road trip through Ireland. We're kind of doing like a figure-8 loop, which wouldn't make sense for most people, but since we were switching vehicles, that's the route that worked best for us. So right now we are on our way to Northern Ireland, where we will be spending the next couple of nights. And we just stopped to pick up groceries for making pizzas because our Airbnb tonight has a pizza oven and a hot tub.
And beer on tap.
Yes, with an honesty box. So we are stoked about this. We'll bring you along and show you what it's like. We just crossed into Northern Ireland, and how does it feel, Ben? Super different?
Feels the same.
There's 2 kind of major differences. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but 2 that we'll probably start noticing are...
The roads are in miles per hour instead of kilometers per hour.
Also, different currency is used here. So instead of the euro, we will be paying in pounds.
Correct.
But we also heard that if you withdraw cash up in Northern Ireland, you cannot use those same pounds in England.
What? They're supposed to accept it, but they
don't quite understand why, but that's what rumor has told us.
Rumor has it.
A few minutes later.
Okay, we spoke too soon. There's another big difference. Our cell phone stopped working. Because we had an Ireland plan.
But not a Northern Ireland plan.
So we have to buy new SIMs. Yay! We are in Northern Ireland at a really special Airbnb, which has all sorts of cool features, and I can't wait to show you around.
Do you want me to sit here? Okay.
Oh, you want me to sit there? Okay. Are you happy? All right, welcome to our Airbnb in Northern Ireland. It's a cute little cabin. We've got a wood-burning fireplace, but I think with this beautiful weather, we probably won't be needing that. Over here is the first bedroom, and this is where Juniper will be sleeping. Got a loft, and this is where Ben and I will spend the nights. Peek down there at those two cuties on the couch. Got a nice kitchen, eating area, and then over here is our bathroom. And of course you saw the private hot tub and communal area with a pizza oven. And the verdict?
Awesome.
I love asking questions right after you take a bite.
So good. Awesome.
Got some pizza sauce on your lips. This could be dangerous.
Here we go. Clearly, this is the first Guinness I've ever poured myself.
Hey Ben, what are you watching there?
Don't worry about it. I'm watching how to pour a perfect pint of Guinness.
And why is that?
I didn't do so hot the first time.
In addition to having a really cool stay up there, we went into the city of Belfast and went over some bumps there.
Yeah, so we're going through some back roads right now, so this might be a little bit
Wonky.
wonky.
Okay, but
We also might be a little wonky because we've been traveling for 2 weeks.
good thing you can't smell us, I'll just say that. Back that up. Okay, back that up. In addition to a really cool Airbnb, we actually did a lot of exploring as well. So we went into the city of Belfast and we only had like half of a day, but it was pretty action packed.
Yeah, we timed everything out perfectly.
We had breakfast at a lovely cafe, the Neighborhood Cafe. Highly recommend.
Delicious.
Get the Turkish eggs.
Yes.
You'll thank me later. And mushrooms on toast. Hot damn.
Hot damn!
And then after that, we got picked up by our black taxi tour, and that is kind of like the must-do thing in Belfast. So what it is a taxi driver brings you around the city, specifically to some of the neighborhoods that were central in the troubles or the conflicts, and they'll walk you through a lot of history.
And replacing their windows 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So council just put that cage on the back of them, and then that
It's
way
super
there.
interesting. We didn't know how much conflict there still is, and division, I guess,
Yeah.
is the better word, between Protestants and Catholics in the north of Ireland.
The tour guide, he was great, and we could ask him as many questions as we wanted about the times or even how things are now. So it was really interactive as well.
It only takes about an hour, hour and a half, depending on which tour you book. So it really is something, even if you have a short time like we did,
Yeah.
we would recommend it. One thing I will say that we learned, some people don't like when you call it Northern Ireland because it still carries a negative connotation. So it's preferred if you say the north of Ireland. Another kind of side note is there's so much information in the Black Taxi Tour that you learn, and it's really hard to distill it into a single video. So it's something that you definitely want to do some reading up on and, you know, experience for yourself.
I need coffee. Please.
Okay, so after the Black Taxi Tour, what did we do, Ben?
We had lunch at the Crown Liquor Saloon.
Ding, ding, ding. So this place is like one of the recommended places to go in Belfast, and I can understand why. It dates back to the 1820s, so it has really cool historic architecture. It has like an old school vibe.
If you want, you can reserve a table, or it's called a snug. There's a few of those in the bottom
Ben
bar.
really likes the name Snug.
I do.
That's why he keeps starting to bring it up.
Yeah, like snuggle up a little bit.
So it's basically a booth with a door on it, so it's like a private area. And
But these booths are surrounded with handcrafted Italian carpentership,
and stained glass,
And
and
so-
it's yeah, so it really does feel like you're stepping back in time.
And the reason why these snugs are there is so that historically women could go and have a drink and not be bothered by people.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read on like a plaque or a sign.
Well, then why was I bothered by the guy in my snug?
Well, because you wanted to snuggle up with them.
Ben's following some people closely. And
They're
I don't
driving
like it.
very, very slow.
If you are interested in booking a snug, and I actually would recommend it. That was kind of like my favorite part about eating there.
Yeah.
You have to make reservations in advance, and also reserving a snug is a £10 fee. I believe if you turn up and there are snugs available, it's free, but when we were there at least, none of them are open. In our opinion, the food there was pretty average, nothing special. And the drinks were normal drinks. The best part of going there was really being in the atmosphere and like having the snug to ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so after filling up on food for the second time of the day in Belfast, we went to the Titanic experience.
I'm the king of the world!
And if you're not aware, Belfast was actually where the Titanic was built. So you can see the actual shipyard where it was constructed.
This experience was really well done. They walk you through time back in Belfast when the Titanic was being built, how it was built, what the workers' conditions were like.
We could have spent a good chunk of the day there, and we didn't have as much time as we probably would have liked, just because we also wanted to get up to the northern shore in the same day. If you have more time, you probably could spend longer there.
Spend all day there.
After the Titanic experience, we headed north. The main thing on the northern shore is the Giant's Causeway. I was thinking I might be disappointed or that it would be kind of like overhyped, but I really enjoyed it.
You were able to walk out onto these pillars and
like the basalt columns.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe we just got lucky, but we arrived in the late afternoon, like 4:30, and it wasn't very busy, so it felt really nice walking around, and yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and Juniper slept for most of it.
Yeah, she did. After Giant's Causeway, we headed along the coast in search of Harry's Shack, which was recommended to me by a few people. It's a like beachside seafood restaurant, and they're known for fish and chips and, you know, seafood.
And we've been thinking about this all day long, and it was like getting
Stoked
into
for this dinner.
later dinner time, and we're like, all right, this is gonna be perfect.
We show up, and the guy's like, we have a wedding going on today, so sorry, you can't come in. We look at each other, we're just like, what are we gonna do? It's like getting late, we're both hangry. Like, I sound kind of high maintenance and like Goldilocks right now, but there was nothing else that sounded good. It was either too fancy, fried takeaway food that just didn't sound good, things were closed or too far away. It was just like nothing else was working out.
Yeah, we just wanted like a casual seafood dining experience.
Like the one that we went to. So anyway, we ended up going to Tesco, the supermarket, and picking up pasta, and it ended up being fine. We took it back to the Airbnb and cooked it, and it was filled the hole. It was fine.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this Airbnb, like we already mentioned, is there's a hot tub. So we got to end the night there, which was pretty nice.
Yeah.
The next day.
So we left from North of Ireland and headed to the county Donegal. Our first stop of the day was the Slieve League.
If you watched our first video, you'll know that we went to a handful of different cliffs in Ireland, in addition to the Cliffs of Moher. Like, the Cliffs of Moher gets all of the attention, all of the fame, but we've liked all the other ones more than the Cliffs of Moher.
Yeah. We actually heard from a tour guide that everybody goes to the Cliffs of Moher because it can fit tour buses. All the other cliffs are kind of like small windy roads, so
we don't know if that's true, but I mean, it kind of checks out. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, these are fun roads.
'Cause this might go on for long. Yes, I was wrong. He's always there for you.
Anyway, Slieve League was absolutely epic. Like, so cool. And I wish that we would have been able to stay nearby so that we just had like a long time to explore.
Free, but ready to flee from this all. Hard to be standing on your own.
Waterfall. All right, so as we were driving, I saw something that looked really cool on Google Maps, which is like one of my hobbies, finding weird things on Google Maps. And this place is called Secret Waterfall. Sounds really cool, huh? So we get down to the beach and someone was a little cranky. So I sat with her and Ben adventured like Indiana Jones, trying to find this like cave waterfall. It was really hard to find when we got down to the beach. There were some guys that went to the left. We kind of followed them because we thought they knew where they're going. They didn't. And then Ben sent up the drone.
Yeah, I flew it down off to the right, and it looked like there were some spots that could work. But then there was like birds trying to dive on the drone, so I didn't think that was safe, so I brought it back.
So then he ran, like scrambling over boulders, and finally found this cave that has a little, I mean, it's like a trickle of water.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty cool.
It is definitely a secret. After a lot of scrambling on the rocks, I finally made it. It's the secret waterfall. Let's check it out.
So, tip, if you're going there, first of all, you have to go at low tide, otherwise, like, you'd have to swim, you wouldn't be able to access. So look at the tide tables first, and then when you get to the beach, you're gonna turn right. And how far is it about, Ben?
It's probably 150, 200 meters, scrambling over the rocks.
Yeah. So it's like quite, I mean, it was further than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Hope that helps.
It's really cool because all the walls have lichen or different color of moss on the walls inside there, and then there's like a skylight shining on the waterfall.
It's pretty cool. I was a little jealous, but
yeah,
mom life.
I felt bad, but I'm glad I could show you pictures.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy you were able to make it. I'm just teasing you. He really thinks I'm mad, and I'm not.
No,
I'm happy that you got to go.
I like experiencing things with you.
I know. Okay, so after the secret after the secret waterfall, Ben neglected to put his shirt back on. Hey Ben, why don't you have a shirt on?
It's so hot in Ireland.
Never thought you'd say that sentence. Oh.
The next stop for the Cache Caves.
Yes, the Caves of Cache Caves, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of like behind some farmland, and you would just walk up into the hill, and there's a row of maybe 10 caves there where you can walk inside, and when you look out, you see the countryside through the caves. It's really cool.
Are there lots of rocks around here? Oh, really? Yeah. We just got done seeing the Cache Caves, which are right there.
Yeah, it's a pretty short little hike up. It's kind of steep, but short. And a fun little lookout.
Especially from the inside, looking out into the valley.
I've heard it's really nice for sunset, but it didn't really work with our travel route today. But
and sunset near midsummer is like 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so this one is in bed by then. I would recommend bringing a little blanket and some snacks, having a picnic.
Bring some food to the area because there's nothing around
There's nothing. We're getting hangry again because we're on our way to Galway. This is a long...
Is there a theme in this day?
What, hanger? Yes.
So we continued on to Galway and we got takeaway pizza from Dough Bros.
Which I read as I was looking up places that they were ranked the 37th best pizzeria in the world.
The first in Ireland.
2022. That's like pretty incredible, and the pizza was amazing.
It was bomb.
No
one says bomb, but it was bomb.
Yeah. After a long day of driving, we finally made it to our Airbnb in Galway, and it's gonna work out perfectly for us. Juniper's got her own little mini chair. She was liking it earlier. We brought home some pizza, and our sweet host brought us some warm homemade apple pie and ice cream. Okay, so here's where things kind of take a turn. A couple weeks ago, we booked ferry tickets to the Aran Islands, which are just off the coast near Galway. There are these remote islands. There's still, I mean, there's people that live there, but they're very rural. There's not much there. There's like some ruins, there's some farmland, and a lot of times people rent bikes and spend the day exploring. So we woke up and the weather didn't look so great. It was kind of rainy, kind of cold, and we were also just pretty tired. And so we never do this. Like, if we've something booked and we've paid for it, like, we're committed. But we just kind of looked at each other and both like could read each other's mind, like, do you want to skip it? Yeah.
So we skipped it. And we spent the day, actually, it was a lovely day. We went into Galway. They had a Saturday market.
Yeah.
And we kind of roamed through the market, got a few little treats and gifts. Juniper got a mushroom, stuffed mushroom.
And
toy, not to eat.
Yes. Yeah. A felt mushroom.
Felt.
We went to brunch, and then we came back to our Airbnb and relaxed. It was like the first time we did that on this trip.
Yeah. And then we went out for a fancy dinner.
And cocktails at the distillery before.
Oh, yeah. We went to the distillery. That was really nice.
Yeah, so we had some really fancy cocktails, and then we went to a really nice dinner.
I can't remember the name of the dinner.
Ardbia. Something like that. We had been to Galway before in 2009 when we were studying abroad in Italy, and for whatever reason it's kind of fuzzy in both of our heads. Not because we were wasted or anything. We probably had a few beers in Galway, but we weren't like partying there. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. We found where our hostel was. What did we just find, Ben?
Found our hostel that we stayed at 13 years ago.
Wild. Do you remember it?
Kind of. It's kind of cool to know that you've been in a city that's just been so long.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool vibe.
It was fun. So that brings us to today.
Yeah, and today has been pretty awesome so far. We woke up and checked out our Airbnb and drove to Connemara National Park. Checked out a few viewpoints at first, but our main thing today was to hike the Diamond Hill.
So it was honestly the worst weather that we've had on this trip so far. We have had beautiful weather for our whole 2 weeks in Ireland until today.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected in Ireland.
Yeah, it's the first day that we've really had rain. Juniper's wearing her rain suit finally.
Yeah, we packed for all this type of weather, but
we're not complaining.
yeah.
But there is an epic view behind us, and we can't really see it because we're like more or less in a cloud.
Either we climb up there, more into the clouds,
or
we call
just head back.
Head back down.
And I think we might call it. It's just kind of uncanny how that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm not complaining because it was the first time we could get out Juniper's cute little rain suit. It was like the first time we're actually able to wear some of the clothes that we brought.
Yeah.
But it just so happened that the view during the hike wasn't as great as the rest of our days.
Yeah, so it was kind of rainy, it was cloudy, it was slightly windy.
But it was still a pretty cool view and a great hike.
And so, yeah, so it's a double loop. So you could do a lower loop or go up to the higher loop. And we did the lower loop and started going up the higher loop, and it just was way too cloudy for us.
Not gonna lie, turning around on a hike is one of my least favorite things. But these days we're a little more willing to do that when conditions aren't great or when we're thinking that Juniper's not having the best time. So yeah, decided to turn around and actually pretty happy with that decision.
So for Diamond Hill, we got up to a pretty decent elevation. We're able to see quite a bit, and it was really beautiful, but we decided to head down. We had a few other things planned that day, so it probably saved us some time too.
Dark now.
Who turned off the lights? Why did I say it that way?
After Diamond Hill, we stopped by the Kylemore Abbey really quickly. Juniper was sleeping, so like we each took turns taking in the view. It's pretty, but we didn't spend much time there. But our next stop was kind of a random one. Again, saw it on Google Maps and just decided to stop. There was a sheep dog herding and sheep shearing demonstration on a sheep farm, and it was like the most picturesque sheep farm you could ever imagine. It was beautiful and it was so informative. So that was pretty cool. Juniper loved the sheep. She like freaked out when we saw them.
Wait.
Done. Oh. Done.
And then our last stop was at a food stand that I had been wanting to go to called the Misunderstood Heron, and they have a lot of seafood dishes and absolutely incredible views. So that was a really great last stop. And then we hopped in the car and here we are filming this video and headed straight across the island of Ireland and getting lost, apparently.
That's not the right turn.
Oh shit, another car is coming. Oopsies. This is embarrassing. For you.
Like, it's a roundabout, and it's one of the turns in the roundabout brings you into a parking lot. I did not want to go in the parking lot. I didn't want it. I'm getting out of town.
Back to Dublin, where we will fly out bright and early tomorrow morning.
It has been an amazing trip, and been able to see all the things that we wanted to and more. If planning a trip to Ireland is on your bucket list, we have so much information on our website just for you.
Yeah, it'll be really helpful as you plan your trip. We've got all the top things to do in Ireland, places to visit, best time of year to travel, information about renting a camper van, and some things that you want to look for. Don't miss that if renting a camper van or motorhome is the way you want to do it. We even have created a perfect Ireland itinerary, like everything I wish I would have had before this trip, because we included all of our favorite stops along this route, but we've done it in a much more efficient way than we actually did this trip. So be sure to check that out if you are visiting Ireland soon. So
thank you so much for watching our Ireland series, and as always, if you like this video and subscribe to our channel, that always helps us out.
thanks again. We hope to see you next time.
What the hell is this?
There's a whole herd crossing the road.